Welcome to Rewatch-and-Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other, and today's episode is Bleach Soul Society The Rescue Arc, episode 50, The Reviving Lion. Episode in a nutshell is a brief reminder of what happens in the episode. So the episode begins with Yuzu making a dress for Kon, who she's been calling Paulif, who is believed to be a girl by her, and she runs out of embroidery thread and so runs out to try to get some more. Kon tries to take advantage of this to run away, and it just so happens to coincide with the timing of Don Kanonji arriving again and trying to recruit Karen as Karakura Red again. But she refuses, and as he's basically begging at the door for her to help him regain his falling popularity, as his show is about to be cancelled, Kon falls out from the window, and he realizes that Kon can move, and therefore finds his mascot character. Yuzu then arrives home and doesn't realize that Kon and who becomes Karakura King and her female lion stuffed animal are the same thing, and she agrees to become Karakura Yellow. They then go and recruit Jinta and Uryu to become Karakura Pink and Karakura Red as well. And so they then go on a training mission where they basically play at the park and torture Kon for a little bit, filling him up with water at the water fountain and shooting him off, attaching him to the top of a fireworks pillar, things like that. And then, he starts to try to run away. They then go looking for him, and unbeknownst to all of them, Karen's at home with a headache, and then she goes out looking for Yuzu, who she realizes isn't there anymore, and Kon gets picked up by a centipede-like hollow that ends up falling in love with him and takes him away, which of course everybody then sees him flying in the sky with this hollow, except Yuzu, who can't see the hollows, but can see the fact that Karakura King is flying. So they then chase after it and battle this centipede hollow. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word for a second. They battle the centipede hollow and end up winning, and then it is revealed at the end of the episode that, unbeknownst to everybody, there was this random box that kept showing up everywhere, and it in fact had a camera and presumably a camera person that was moving it, that was secretly filming the whole thing, and then Don Kanonji airs it on TV, regaining his falling popularity, while poor Kon ends up back in his dresses because Yuzu does not make the connection, and he obviously has to stay at Ichigo's house, so he goes back to being considered a female lion by Yuzu. So now that we've been reminded about what happened in the episode, we'll now rank the episode, and as always, we'll be ranking on our mostly objective ranking list first, followed by the personal ranking list. And our mostly objective ranking values are quite limited in this case, so we have two multi-arc supporting character developments. We first have the fact that Don Kanonji is losing his popularity, which leads to him recruiting Kon to join the Karakura Heroes and reconstitute these Karakura Heroes and go fight, and basically the entire premise of the episode is caused by this development of him losing his popularity and trying to come up with a scheme to regain it, worth 3 points. Then we have an additional 3 points because it's revealed that Karen apparently gets headaches or head pain when hollows are nearby, which could be a sign of her growing powers because, originally she couldn't see hollows, then she gained the ability to see hollows, and now it seems that she's able to sense them to a certain degree as she's getting these sharp pains while the hollow is nearby, bringing us to 6 points. However, there is a negative, and that, of course, is the fact that there is no main plot or plot progression to the main series, as this is a filler episode. And while I have nothing against filler episodes, it is a fact that they don't really contribute to the overall storyline and are usually a placeholder to allow like a manga or the source material to get a bit ahead and are a bit of a comedic break. So obviously no plot value, -4 points, and that leads us to this episode being a 2 out of 10 on the mostly objective rank values. And that brings our list to, in first, Flash Goddess Yoruichi Dances, The Despicable Shinigami, Ishida, The Utmost Limits of Power, Hitsugaya Howls, Overcome Your Limits, The Avengers, Rukia's Nightmare, Authentic Records, School of Shinigami, and in ninth place, The Reviving Lion. Now, my personal ranking is actually quite a bit higher than the objective one. Yes, fillers have no real plot value, but they are often very comedic and entertaining. At least the ones so far have been hit or miss, but at least 2 out of the 3 I can think of off the top of my head were really good. And I did really enjoy this one. I found it very funny. I thought it was well paced. I like that they did add action and entertainment value in addition to the comedy. And it is a cute little story that breaks away from the rising action of the Shinigami realm. However, that is also the negative of it, is that, we were just starting to actually get somewhere on the main plot. Finally, after a bunch of running around and build up and, you know, planted seeds, we were finally seeing them start to sprout. And then it's like, oh, we're just going to pull you away from all that now and have this, comedic little break back in the real world. And I don't have a problem with it because, again, it was funny, but I just am like, they were finally getting somewhere and now we're pulled away from it and it's one more week. And if I was a viewer back in the day when it was airing, I'd have been pissed off because it's like, I was just about to get something. We were just getting somewhere. We were about to start all of the action. And now I have to wait yet another week and I've been delayed on the satisfaction of all these seeds sprouting because you wanted to go to characters that are in the real world, and great, we get to check in on them, but again, none of them are main characters. Would I have chosen to return to these characters over continuing the story in the Shinigami realm? Absolutely not. But it was really funny and entertaining, so I did give it an 8 out of 10. And the points that it lost was mostly frustration due to losing out on the main plot that was finally getting interesting. And that is why our list now is okay, no. That is why I ranked it an 8, and our list for the personal ranking so far has in first Ishida, The Utmost Limits of Power, The Despicable Shinigami. This episode does end up in third, The Reviving Lion, followed by Hitsugaya Howls, Flash Goddess Yoruichi Dances, The Avengers, Authentic Records, School of Shinigami, Rukia's Nightmare, and in last place is Overcome Your Limits. And that brings us now to the series ranking so far. First arc, Agent of the Shinigami arc, scored 84%. Soul Society the Sneak Entry arc was second with 75.24%. And now we have Soul Society the Rescue arc at 71 out of a possible 220. Meanwhile, on our personal ranking side, Agent of the Shinigami arc came in first at 63%. Soul Society the Sneak Entry arc at 59.52%. And this arc, Soul Society the Rescue arc, currently has a score of 57 out of a possible 220, though as I mentioned, because we are coming up to the rising action and the actual big battles and conclusions, I expect that score to go way higher coming up. Regardless of that, with that, we have now rewatched and ranked Bleach Soul Society The Rescue Arc, Episode 50, The Reviving Lion. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.